Hi, and welcome to HRS 5100, Introduction to Assistive Technology, and HRS 5200, Assistive Technology for Seating and Mobility, and Assistive Technology 5450, Assistive Technology for Sports and Recreation. So who says that Grey's Anatomy and Station 19 can be the only ones that have a crossover event? Given that this is our off week or open week, I thought I'd have a crossover event of my own as I bring HRS 5100, 5200, and 5450 together this week. Since we don't have actual modules that I'll be posting, I thought I would cover 6 cool things that are happening in the field of assistive technology and rehabilitation engineering. The first thing that I would like to talk about is New Mobility magazine. They recently came out with their top campuses for individuals who use wheelchairs. Of course, in the top 10 were 2 universities that I'm familiar with. Wright State University, because it's here in the state of Ohio, and the other one, the University of Illinois. So of course I've got my University of Illinois water mug here. And I'm really excited about the University of Illinois being in the top 10 just because that's where I got my start in this field. It was the Disability and Rehabilitation Education Services building that I got my start looking at manual wheelchair propulsion, specifically helping to build a dynamometer that wheelchair racers could use in training for the Boston Marathon. So that was pretty cool. It was a long time ago, but that's where I got my start. So check out the New Mobility magazine and look at their top universities for wheelchair users. I recommend checking out the New Mobility magazine because they interview the inventor for the Nike Go Fly Easy shoes. The interview is a great interview, so check it out. It's really cool because the inventor is an individual with CP who invented the shoes for himself. What do they always say? Necessity is the mother of invention, and I think this is definitely a case for that. So number 3 on the list is I want to make you aware of an e-gaming accessibility course that's coming out in the summer of 2021. The course is taught by Dr. Amy Dara and was developed in collaboration with Sarah Anderson. Many of you know Sarah Anderson from the HRS 5100 module that talks about e-gaming and virtual reality. If you missed that module, I'll put a link in our notes to the YouTube video that she does. The 4th thing I want to talk about is the Maccessibility podcast. Wow, that's a mouthful. The Maccessibility podcast is 5 individuals who talk about Mac products, no surprise there, and the accessibility features that are built into some of those products. I highly recommend checking out their most recent podcast, which I'll put a link to, because they talk about the history of screen readers. It was really cool to think about that when I started in this field, you had to pay for a screen reader. It wasn't built into your computer. Now we've got Microsoft Narrator for the Microsoft platform, and we've got VoiceOver for the Macintosh platform or the Apple platform. And that's important because that means that those screen readers can start right up when a person boots the computer, but that wasn't always the case. They also talk about a free screen reader called NDVA, Nancy Delta Vector Alpha. You can find it online. It's free, as I mentioned, and it provides some more features for the Windows platform than you get from Narrator. So you can check that out. 5th thing I want to talk about is the International Seating Symposium. Typically, the International Seating Symposium takes place in the spring. This year, it's taking place in the fall. So in between the spring and the fall, they're putting out 4 webinars, 4 workshops that people can attend for free. So if you're interested in the field of seating and mobility, I highly recommend checking out these webinars. The first one will take place next month in March and will continue through September. The first one is on the impact of the pandemic on service delivery for seating and mobility. So wheelchair service delivery and the impact of the pandemic. The second one is on how to use wheelchair standards in clinical practice. So if you don't know anything about wheelchair standards, it's a great thing to learn about. These are the standards that are put in place to make sure that you have safe and effective wheelchairs out in the community, and how you as a clinician or a supplier or an assistive technology professional can use these standards to help you in your own practice. The third one is the service delivery models for seating and mobility in less resource settings. So this typically gets at the more international model. So that'll be a great webinar. And then the last one is on the application of research in clinical practice, specifically a project that I'm working on right now that looks at how do we get the right wheelchair for the right person at the right time. Now that's not the actual name of the research, but that's how I describe it. And it's really focused on policy and the creation of evaluation measures so we can make better decisions and collaborate with individuals with disabilities when recommending new wheelchairs. The sixth and last thing I want to make you aware of is that the student scientific paper submissions are still open for RESNA. They'll be open through March 15th. And the student design competition for RESNA is open till March 22nd. So check those out. I hope you enjoy your open week. I really appreciate all of the engagement in the discussion posts. The discussion posts have been great, and it's been fun putting stuff in there, finding stuff to put in those discussion posts. That's kind of my current events type of area to post stuff. The other thing I want to make you aware of before I finish this week's YouTube video is I just want to make you aware of the fact that I store all the videos in a playlist, so if you want to see them, or you want to access them without having to go through the course, you can. And oftentimes I post the video before I actually embed it in the course so you can access a video earlier on. So I'll give you a link to those playlists so that you have those. Thanks for a great semester. Enjoy the week off, and we'll be rooting for the Buckeyes as they move towards the Big Ten championship. And of course, I'm talking about both the women's basketball team and the men's basketball team. They're both doing great this year. Go Bucks!